Just turn the light back on, and now we can continue with this second segment, talking about the Pacers and the Bucks. So they won in a blowout, obviously, and I can't really say obviously because but given the trend that we've seen in the regular season with how they play the Bucks, and especially when they play at home, obviously, especially when they don't have Dame or Giannis, obviously. And actually, wait, no. I completely lied there. Damian Lillard was actually a game time decision, and it was revealed literally like an hour before the game that he would be available and he would be playing. But I feel like they rushed him into it. I definitely feel like they rushed him into this game, even though he didn't really play that bad. He shot 7 for 16 from the field, and had 28 points. So again, that's not really that bad at all, especially just coming off of a major injury like he did. It was an Achilles. So excuse me. But regardless, nobody really expected the Bucks to put up this much of a fight against the Pacers without having Damian Lillard or Giannis Antetokounmpo. They had a healthy Dame for 3 games of the completely healthy Dame for 3 games of the series, or about 4 games of the series, roughly 4. I say roughly because he got injured in the middle of the game for game 4, and he couldn't play in game 5. But regardless, they had him healthy for a majority of the series, and they were only able to win 1 game. And that 1 game that they won was because the Pacers offense just couldn't catch up, because the Bucks had an early lead due to Damian Lillard's 35 points, but he ended up not scoring a single point in the second half. So obviously, this team, you can't really say that this team was a disappointment, but you also can't help but feel like this team was a disappointment either, because going into the playoffs, I wasn't even confident that the team was going to do well with or without Dame, with or without Giannis as well. Beat against the Pacers, I thought the Pacers were going to win in 7 games. I thought this series was going to go to 7, and cuz it was really close, but the Bucks, they aren't really, since 2021, they have not made it out of the first round at all. And that's obviously it's unfortunate due to injuries, because that's the main reason why they can't make it out of the postseason. But but in this particular case, I don't think that would have made I don't think the injuries would have made any difference, strictly because of how the Doc Rivers has coached the Bucks in the regular season and things of that nature. That's literally the only reason as to why I'm the only reason to why I don't think that. So going into, I'm just pulling up the box scores right now, trying to see who I have, and all right, so on the Pacers side, Halliburton ended the game with 17 and 10. Pascal Siakam ended the game with 19 and 4. Andrew Nembhard ended the game with 14. And that was, actually, I lied. There were a lot of scorers coming off of the bench coming in from this game. Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell were both of them. They ended the game combined 41 points. So McConnell ended with 20 and Obi Toppin ended with 21. Very good performance coming from those guys off the bench. Very much needed, especially in this elimination game. So for this series, I didn't give series award. I didn't give series awards for the Knicks and the Philly series, because I feel like everyone sort of knows who's gonna get what. Who's gonna get what award. because it was fairly simple throughout that entire series if you watched it. But I'll give the series MVP would go to Jalen Brunson. The finals LeBron would obviously go to Joel Embiid. And then the sixth man of the series would probably, I don't even, for the Sixers, I need to think, because, I mean, Kelly, he wasn't really that good. He did not come off the bench either. And I would give it to Buddy Hield, but, like, I honestly think, like, Batum is probably, like, the only really good option for six man of the series, because, like, the Knicks and their rotations, they never, ever rest their starters. I swear, never. And let's see. So next, the important player to recognize for both for the series between like the Knicks and the Sixers is Nick Batum and Buddy Hield. They both played very well in game 6. When they just didn't, especially Buddy Hield in particular, he didn't really show up in the series, like, at all, up until then. And it really threw me for a loop, because I was like, oh, so now this man want to start making a bunch of three-pointers. But I digress. And, let's see, another man of the hour. I mean, I could also give Maxey. We could give it to Maxey. We could give it to Josh Hart too, for who the outstanding player is for both sides. I mean, I probably. I mean, you know what? I think that might have to go to Brunson yet again. I mean, 3 straight games dropping 40 points. I mean, every single one of those 40-point games was incredibly valuable. So I really it's got to be Jalen Brunson's back-to-back 40-point games. So now we're going to go to the season award for the Pacers. So the series MVP is Tyrese Halliburton. Now, I went with this pick because that was literally the only option. Like, his averages by far are the best on the team, and they are by far like the best that he could have given, and there's like really nothing that you can complain about with these numbers. However, he has fallen off from what I thought he was. I thought he could be a star premier point guard in this league, but he's sort of fallen off a little bit since the in-season tournament. But I digress on that. So, at least, and especially, like, since unlike LeBron and the Lakers, they were able to make it past the first round. But regardless, those were his numbers, and it's not really, like, much to really think about when you look at those numbers. 44, 30, 86 shooting splits. His on-off numbers are plus 8.7 when he's on and minus 10 when he's off. The finals LeBron goes to Chris Middleton, and they obviously wouldn't have been able to win half of their games without him, and literally they wouldn't have been able to win half of their games in this series without him, because in game 5 they surprisingly won, and then I just completely did not expect them to win whatsoever. But he averaged 24, 9, and 4 with 2 turnovers, as well as, I don't know why I bothered mentioning those 2 turnovers, that's my bad, with 48, 36, and 90 shooting splits, which is 58.2% true shooting. Now, the 6th man of the series has to go to my man Obi Toppin. He averaged 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist coming off the bench on 49, 28, 78 shooting splits. Excuse me. But the only problem, or the only, like, there was no really other 6th man I could have given this award to. And, like, I know his on and off numbers, they look really, really bad, considering how on the court he's minus 4.6, and then off the court they're plus 9.3. So obviously that's a little bit that might not be a good pick, but I think like those raw numbers that he averages are good enough. So next is the I didn't talk about it in the last in the last playoff series, but the award that goes to like the player that played really bad in the worst possible time. And obviously, like, you know, I have an award I have, you know, the finals MVP, I have the finals LeBron, and so now we have the Ish Smith, if you will, or the Diago Splitter, the Rasho Nesterovic, the Kwame Brown of the awards. The Kwame Brown Award. How about that? So but no disrespect to any of those players or anything like that. Just doing a bunch of banter. So one of the more disappointing, like, there wasn't really a disappointing player in this series for the Bucks or the Pacers. It was more so just the disappointment of the fact that we didn't get to see Giannis and Dame healthy in this series, and how, you know, a healthy Bucks team would look going head to head against a healthy Pacers team. So I just didn't think it was fair. Now, for the Knicks, obviously the Kwame Brown Award, we're going to call it that now. The Kwame Brown Award goes to Tobias Harris for dropping 0 points. So amazing work coming in from him. But I don't really, you know me, I don't really like talking down about these players because it like sort of mitigates the good that they do. So and it sort of downplays the good that they do. But over something like this, I think I feel like I could be a little bit lenient towards it, but I'm not going to do it every single time, obviously, because I genuinely don't like it. But if a player plays really, really bad and they were a key pivotal piece to that team, I feel like that should be mentioned, at least in some degree. Like, it should be mentioned in some degree, but like I won't talk bad about it all the time. Next, we have the stand-up players that I wanted to mention. They're Miles Turner. He ended up dropping 29 points and 9 rebounds in games 3 and 4 to go up 2-1 and then to go up 3-1. So obviously very, very important. Along with TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin, they both played very well in the elimination game. TJ McConnell specifically, he ended the game with 20 points and 9 assists with a team high plus 22 in the box plus minus in a closeout game. Actually, it was a closeout game 5, excuse me. But he did play well in this specific closeout game. Now, another player that I feel like should deserve some recognition is Pascal Siakam, and his first 2 games against the Bucks, where he dropped 36 in game 1 and 37 in game 2. So that's all I have for these for this series. So now we are well over the time. So now I will go ahead and go into the third segment where I talk about the Dallas Mavericks and their playoff series, as well as the Cavs and their playoff series, because those are the 2 teams that are going to be playing, and those are the 2 teams that are going to be trying to compete or to win in this elimination game. So I'll be right back after this short break.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, Now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.